Welcome to the channel where I make economic concepts easy to understand. In this video, we will discuss the three-sector Islamic economic model. What is the three-sector Islamic economic model? The model considers three sectors in the economy. The first one is the public sector or the government. The second sector is the private sector, the market. And then the third one is the third sector, or also known as the voluntary sector. How these three sectors work in the framework of the Islamic economics. To understand that, let's first consider the public sector or the government's roles in the economy. In the context of the Islamic economic system, the public sector, the government, or sometimes also referred as the state, is the main authority in establishing the Islamic system. Here we can see three important functions of the government in ensuring the establishment of the Islamic environment or the Islamic system. The first one is to establish the Islamic rules of the game in the system. With political will, the government should establish the Sharia framework in governing the economy and the society in the system. For example, this can include halal standard, the Islamic banking and finance, the Islamic legal system, the Islamic social system, and other frameworks deemed necessary to establish the Islamic system. At the same time, the government also needs to provide a conducive environment for the Islamic man to exist. I have another video discussing about the concept of Islamic man, a very important concept in Islamic economics. This is the assumption about the behavior of the economic agents under the framework of the Islamic economic system. And the third important role of the government is to ensure al-adl wal-ihsan to prevail in the system. This can include legal justice, social justice, economic justice, environmental justice, universal justice, and all forms of justice and fairness that it is required to ensure fairness to prevail in the system. It is in the hand of the government, therefore, to provide the framework and the governing system so that the subjects can live in the system in a harmonious interaction. The second important sector in the economy is the private sector, representing by the market where exchanges take place. And in the framework of the Islamic economic system, the assumption about the market is that the demand and supply based on the Islamic rules of the game, or we can say guided demand and supply. For example, the market would be responsive to the need of halal and good products and services. The production of haram items such as alcohol, gambling will not be considered as crucial and therefore will be very limited or even prohibited. All these interactions in the market done by the conduct of Islamic men who are considered to be both moral and material maximizers. And then the third sector in the economy is the voluntary sector or the third sector, and this sector is often neglected in the discussion of the mainstream economic discourse. You may notice that the most common discussion in books are about public and the private sector, and there is almost a silence on the presence of the third sector. And in this model, we include the third sector. The third sector in this context would involve in, other than the public and the private sector activities, most of the discussions about the third sector would mainly focus on the activities under the third sector organizations. Why? Because this is much easier to monitor and to have records. Activities done by individuals as hobby, for example, is not easy to be recorded. Therefore, in reports about third sector activity, usually those under the organizations are the one considered to represent the third sector. The coverage of the third sector can be very wide because this can include hobbies, social engagement, welfare activities, and many other things beyond markets and the public sector activities. In this discussion, we highlight the key functions of the third sector to address the neglected areas by the states and the markets. Because of the limited ability of the government and the market to identify certain issues, therefore, there are areas where the third sector is more efficient to come in and address those issues. For example, during the COVID-19 lockdown period, when the government is very limited in terms of the resources, and at the same time the market was in a bad shape, almost collapsing, because businesses were not able to open and operate, then we find how the third sector came in and provide the welfare needs of the society. Therefore, in the context of the Islamic economic system, the third sector can play a crucial role to address welfare issues and also to play the role of advocacy in the society so that awareness and positive agenda that can enhance the society can further be promoted. Another important thing about the third sector is the value that can be promoted through voluntary engagement, where people can learn to be selfless, to be caring about other people, and this value is totally different than the value that motivate exchanges, because market exchanges mainly driven by material motives. By combining all these three sectors in the economy under the Islamic economic framework, then we can expect a harmonious and sustainable relationships between man and his creator, Allah Ta'ala, man and other men, and also man and the environment. And this is how the third sector should work together in the economy. And if you notice in this diagram, there are areas where the circle overlaps. Those areas sometimes referred as the hybrid combination of the sectors. I will discuss about this in another video. Till then, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share with others. Thank you.